Hello everyone, this is Grace. It is October the 5th, 2023, and we are continuing our study on the tithe. And we are going to be taking a look at additional New Testament scriptures. We are starting off in 1 Corinthians 16 for this study. The collection for the saints. Now concerning the collection for the saints, as I have given order to the churches of Galatia, even so do ye. Upon the first day of the week, let every one of you lay by him in store, as God has prospered him, that there should be no gathering when I come. There's a whole lot of things in here that should be bells and whistles to you to let you know that they are talking about the tithe here. First of all, now concerning the collection for the saints, this is a title. What is the collection for the saints? Show it to me in the Bible, please. It's the tithe. That's what it is. It's the tithe. As I have given order to the churches of Galatia, even so do ye. What is the order to Galatia? The Galatia is pretty much all of the churches in his area. I mean, it's a pretty wide area. It's Asia it's a big part of Asia, I think. So he's given this order for the collection of the saints. Now he's extending it to the Corinthians. Corinth. As I have given order to the church of Galatia, even so do ye. This collection, I remember looking this up. I can't remember. No. They used the word collection for the tithe in the Old Testament as well. That's what I'm thinking of. Upon the first day of the week, let every one of you lay by him in store. Just the same word store, like a storehouse. And the people that contested it recognized that this word was saying store the money up as they would store in the storehouse. They recognized it. I don't remember the explanation they gave because it was wrong. Because, I don't really know if it was wrong or not because I don't remember what they said, to be honest. But why won't this highlight go away? Oh, I hope my computer's not slow. My voice is probably off. Oh well, we're gonna finish it like this anyway. Sorry, it makes me sad when my video's not right. Not that sad though. You don't have to feel bad for me. Upon the first day of the week, let every one of you lay by him in store. Keep that money as God has prospered him. That's the instruction. As I have given order to the churches of Galatia, even so do ye. Upon the first day of the week, lay the money by you in store as God has prospered you. So what are you saying? If God gives you money, you take a piece of that money and you give it back to God? Yes, that's exactly what it's saying. It's called a tithe. That's what it's called. That there be no gathering when I come. He's specifically telling them to tithe here. It's just very, very clearly he has to be talking about a tithe. He calls it a name. He calls it by name, the collection of the saints. He's ordered it amongst all of the churches in the area. I don't know how many all is, to be honest with you, but it's a big chunk of all of the churches. I don't know if he's got a lot of churches that he runs around to, but it's a big chunk of them because Galatia is like a big part of Asia, I think, of the Asia Minor. They're all having a collection. They all lay it in stores for the first day of the week. And it is only given according to how God has prospered them. But it gets worse. He's already told you he wasn't going to take their money, right? He won't collect a tithe for himself from Corinth. So he tells you what he's going to do with the money. And when I come, whomsoever ye shall approve by your letters, then will I send to bring your liberality unto Jerusalem. And if it be meet that I go also, they shall go with me. What he's saying is, this is setting forth the precedent. I'm so tired. I'm sorry. This is setting forth an example for us. The money needs to go to the pastor first. If he's just going to pick up the money and take it to someone else, why can't they just give the money to the other person? No, he's setting a precedent. He's setting an example. The tithe first goes to the people that serve in the temple. But they're also, those people are responsible for taking care of the poor. They're responsible for doing other things, other churchly duties. But it goes to them first. So he picks up the money. And when I come, whomsoever ye shall approve. That means they know the person that's going to take it. They're sending him a letter saying, hey, Paul, we've approved this person to take the money to Jerusalem. You come pick up the money as the representative who handles the tithe, and then give it to that person so that he can take the money and go distribute it to the poor in Jerusalem. It's a standard. It's a standard. Now, I have to give you an exception to this standard. You don't just give to any church. I didn't point that out, but it should be known you're not going to give to the enemies of God. You don't. You give to God's church. You give to God's church. This is why they could just give to him. This is why they could give to Paul instead of the regular church. You give to the people of God. If you can't give to the people of God, you can then give it to the poor. But it goes to the people of God first. That's what's being said here. That's what's being taught here. Paul gets the money. He hands it off to the very person that's sitting there waiting in the exact same town. They could have just handed him the money. Paul's already told him he wasn't going to take it. But he's setting us, like I said, he's setting forth an example. It goes to the people of God first. It goes to the church first. And then the church distributes it out to the poor. So, and when I come, whomsoever you shall approve by your letters, them will I send to bring your liberty unto Jerusalem. And if it be meet that I go also, if it be needed that he go along with them, then he's going to go with them. But if not, let them go and do that job. So why do they need Paul? The only reason why they could need Paul there to collect that money is because the tithe has to go to the Levites first. But let's move on. One moment. Then the disciples, every man according to his ability, determined to send relief unto the brethren which dwelt in Judea, which also they did, and to send it to the elders by the hands of Barnabas and Saul. I'm not sure why I put this in here. I have to tell you, I don't know. So we're just going to skip by this. Okay, something. We read this in the last video, so I'm not going to read it again. It's in the previous video. If any man or woman that believeth have widows, let them relieve them, and let not the church be charged, that it may relieve them that are widows indeed. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially those who labor in the word and doctrine. So they get extra from the church. For the scripture saith, thou shalt not muzzle an ox that treadeth out the corn, and the laborer is worthy of his reward. This, of course, is establishing that the church is required to help the poor, the widows, the needy. However, It also places the burden on the family. The family is first and foremost required to take care of their own, so that the church can help those that don't have families to help them. And then you have the rule for the elderly who have served in the church. You don't just leave them to rot, even though they can't serve anymore. You have to take care of them, and you offer them more. They have more time on their hand to spend, probably, so they need more because they're not working. So they get to live out their life nicely. But the scripture saith, thou shalt not muzzle the ox that treadeth out the corn, and the laborer is worthy of his reward. Certainly our teachers are worthy. Okay. I wish I would have read this. I don't remember what this is. Let's just read through it. And it came to pass, when Jesus had made an end of commending his 12 disciples, he departed thence to teach and to preach in their cities. Now when John had heard in his... I put the wrong scripture in here. This is not a scripture that I would have put in here. So I'm missing something. Sometimes when I put the scriptures in, they don't show up. It'll just give me the first verse instead of the verse that I typed in. Okay, well, I can't spend any more time looking for it. Let's go on. We've read that. My apologies. I'm not going to do this video over, but that's all the scriptures that we have. Just those few. Yeah, you'll just have to forgive me for wasting a little bit of your time. Yeah, I will talk with you in the next video.